Morning, guys. Raptor Freak Alexiot's here. Friday morning, day 3 of training camp in the Raptors training camp this week. We had a couple more interviews with Nick Nurse, of course. Malachi Flynn and Precious Achiuwa were made available to the media, and they had interviews. I want to talk about Precious today because his interview yesterday was interesting to me in a couple different ways. Um, Precious is a very unknown kind of dude. And it's part of just how he is and who he is. Uh, Really interesting things he said. A couple of things that struck me. First of all, I feel like, all right, when the reporters are asking him about why he's so aggressive and such a hard-nosed player, to me, I feel like in some ways this may be a case of a boy named Sue. I don't know if y'all know the Johnny Cash song where Johnny Cash sings the whole thing, and it's about his father naming him Sue. Well, I'm not saying that his name is bad or anything. His name's awesome. In fact, to me, I think his name is kind of ironic and kind of cool because his name's Precious, but he comes out and he plays like such a aggressive, physical style. So it's kind of like naming your big, huge dog Tiny, Precious. So I think there is a little bit of that overcompensation for when he was younger and he would play in games and guys would be like, his name, because if he used his name, it may be like, yeah, you want to see who's Precious, bam, that kind of stuff. So that was really interesting to me because it kind of made sense that I know with my name growing up in the South, some people were like, oh, that's a girl's name. And, maybe I overcompensated for it in some ways. So I understand that mentality. There were other couple things that struck me about Precious real quick. I'm not going to be on too long today. He sounded a lot like Goran in his interview, meaning that he was very professional, which to me is scary in a way because players that are kind of acting like that in interviews, it means that they're not really that committed to the team. And sometimes you can tell a guy comes in and they're just like, oh, overjoyed to be somewhere or something like that. I don't know how committed Precious is to Toronto. I know that he has a backstory where he went to a camp as a youngster and, he was influenced by people in our organization and brought into US and became like a basketball prep star and then, got to the NBA. But that doesn't mean he has any allegiance to us. And it could have some things to do with his agent. It could have different things to do because he got traded here. This wasn't totally his choice. I'd love for him to stick around. He's on a rookie contract. So that means we've got him this year and next year for sure. But after that, see, this is the thing. This window to get a championship with this core may be only these 2 years because after the next year, not this year, but next year, some of these guys are going to be going on their second contract and stuff. And that's what we're at an apex right now because we had a bad year last year. We got a lottery pick. We got a big time player in Scotty Barnes as a rookie. It's kind of like when the Spurs got Tim Duncan because they had a bad year, like one bad year, and then they got Tim Duncan, and they were just like the rich got richer. Well, that's kind of what happened with us, y'all. We were already a good playoff team. It's just now we got a lottery pick because we had a down year. So with that, because there's so much good young talent, in a couple of years, it's going to be we got to figure out who we're going to give money to and keep around long term. And I really hope that Precious can be a part of our long-term goals because honestly, he has a potential. This is my next point is the potential of Precious and the whole thing and how that interacts with our chances to win a championship. And I really do think like if we can't win one this year, we're going to need to win one next year. And these guys are going to develop quick. Like this isn't like a 4 or 5 year down the road development thing. When Masai Ujiri said that Tampa put us back 1 year, he meant 1 year from the championship, not 1 year from anything else, just from winning the championship. So our timeline may be a little faster than people think, just because these guys are going to need money in like 2 years. And we're going to have to figure out who we can pay. So to maximize the actual talent like percentage that we have right now, which is abundant, We need to get going before these guys have to get big contracts. So that's what I'm saying. I get a vibe from Precious that he's not committed to Toronto like we think he is. But I hope that he does see the development that he gets from our system and our organization, and he changes his mind. He becomes more, he said all the right things. He said, "Oh, I like the city. I'm learning about the restaurants, all that kind of stuff." But you can sometimes really tell when a player is like, really into it. And I worry about that with him. But we can give him time over the season to really like trust the organization, trust the coaches, trust his teammates, trust the development that he's seeing in himself, and then he'll want to stay. So he's such an X factor in all kinds of different ways. And I love it because, this is the thing. They asked him, "What's your ceiling?" They asked him what his ceiling is. This is kind of something we've been talking about all week, ceilings. And what is the limit of potential for this team or individual players on it? Specifically him and Scotty. He said, "I don't look at me having a ceiling. There's no such thing as a ceiling in my world. It's like unlimited potential and growth from where he's coming from, he can go to." And Nick Nurse believes he has a lot of potential. Like, Miami, they probably had certain things that they let him do on offense, and that's it. But here, Nick Nurse is going to let Precious be unleashed on offense, and he can try all kinds of stuff. He can try and shoot more. He can try and go to the basket more. He can try and do all this other stuff that he necessarily didn't get to do in Miami. So it's exciting because he is really an unknown. He is a true X factor. And depending on how quickly he gets it, depending on how quickly, this is the thing, he could seal our defense like Mark and Serge did. He can seal our down low defense and make it impossible for guys to come down low and score on us with, in tandem with Kem Birch and Chris Boucher and Pascal and OG, all those guys down low. They can stop people down low like we did in the championship year this year. We have enough strength and enough size to do that kind of shutdown defense. And Precious is going to be a big part of it. His aggression, his physicality, it's all stuff that we lacked last year. We wanted that from Aaron Baines, and he did not give that to us. Alex Len, same thing. They didn't give us anything like that at the beginning of the season last year. So right off the bat, we should have things that we lacked at the beginning of last year right away this year. So we won't have some crazy weird start or have a lot of struggles in the beginning. I don't think we will, because there's just too much tools. There's too much talent, and we're on our way to success. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about those couple of things about Precious, that, maybe his name has a factor in the reason why he's so aggressive and physical. Maybe that, he isn't as committed to Toronto as we think. And, give him some time to grow and really fall in love with everything about being here. And maybe, we'll see when his contract's up at the end of next season, if he does resign with us then. And then third, his potential, he doesn't even understand or think of himself as having a potential limit. Like, there's no ceiling in his mind. So when an individual has that kind of unlimited potential mindset, they can accomplish stuff that is just unheard of. Things that people are like, I wouldn't even thought of that, because they don't think in their head with those kind of boundaries or parameters. They think anything can happen. And that's why I think anything can happen for this team as far as winning a championship, is because we don't know how quick these guys are going to get the system. We don't know how quick they're going to feel really good and click, where they're like, they could click just a little bit good and already be a very stifling defense on the other team, and then just get better and better as the year goes on. Like, as they get more practice, as they get more time together and understand each other's like tendencies, and their instinct will be more and more to shut down completely the other team. And that's really the thing that'll help us win a championship this year, is whether we have a shutdown defense. So, wow. The one other thing I want to talk about just real quick is Raptors preseason tickets went on sale yesterday at noon, and it was a S show. It was, honestly, I got on there right at noon, and every single time I tried to click something for Philadelphia next Monday, somebody else bought it, snatched right up. But you know what? I think it's these automatic, these resellers, these reseller apps like Vivid Seats and what's the other one? Uh, you know, the ones I'm talking about, Vivid Seats and Just Ticks or whatever, those kind of things. They buy them up and then they sell them to you for double the price. I had to pay for a $40 ticket $80 for the 300 section for Monday night just because I couldn't get to those tickets fast enough. They were all gone 15 minutes into the selling yesterday afternoon. They were all gone. And then, came back and bought them for double. So for me personally, I'd much rather deal with the scalper on the street because at least I can haggle. And I know those guys. I used to work at the Air Canada Center. I used to go drink with a lot of the scalpers outside the building. And they're all still the same guys. They've been out there for decades. Bobby, Marco, all those dudes down there. They're great dudes. They always give me a deal. And I'd rather deal with them face to face than have this faceless, nameless automaton reseller system where everything's being bought up so quick, and then you have to buy it through your phone on an app, and you don't have any room to haggle. That's what I'm talking about. At least down there face to face, I can haggle with Bobby and I can get a little bit better deal. People have a problem with scalpers. I love those guys. Those guys are good dudes, and they do jobs that are thankless in a way. People think that they're just scum. Police harass them. They stand outside all day in the rain and the snow, and they provide a service. Like, I know if I go down to either one of these arenas downtown, Skydome or Air Canada Center, I'll know that Bobby's out there. And if I want to get into that event, I can make a deal with him and get into that event, no matter how sold out it is. So I don't know. I'm not saying support your local scalper down at the building, but those guys are great. They're good dudes, and they're just trying to make a little bit of money themselves. And they've been doing it for decades, and it's thankless. But they've helped a lot of people get into buildings and get memories that they weren't going to get. So anyway, I'd much rather deal with a face-to-face scalper than these apps like Vivid Seats and Just Ticks or whatever, all that, StubHub, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, it's coming up real quick. 3 days. I got my seats in the 320 section. I'm going to be up there at the Philadelphia game to welcome them back, and I'm going to be real loud. And I'll welcome all y'all, too, to find out. Try and find it. Go down there on Monday night and talk to Marco. Talk to Bobby. They'll get you in the door. Trust me. Just name drop me, Alexi, Raptor Freak. They might even give you a deal. I don't know. But anyway, have a good weekend. We're only 3 days away from seeing some real stuff. Well, not real stuff, but preseason stuff, but stuff. And yeah, man, have a good weekend. Be proud to be a Raptor. And thanks for all the support and the comments, likes, subscribe, comment, do whatever. Take one of my videos and post them on Facebook and show your friends or whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna try and drop some insight and knowledge every day for y'all this whole season, reacting to games, reacting to whatever stories that are happening around the NBA or things that pertain to the Raptors specifically, because I'm very Raptors centric and focused. I'm not going to just one day do a video just on LeBron James. It's always going to be about Raptors, and it's not going to be about speculation stuff for the most part. I may speculate about things like I just did with Precious, but I'm not going to speculate on like whether there's a trade coming for, Bradley Beal or something like that with some of the players and stuff like that. So anyway, have a great weekend, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Go Raptors. Feel good about your team. Believe in a championship. Be like Precious. Unlimited potential. See no ceiling in your life. And watch what you'll achieve. Just say, oh, I can do anything. Unlimitless boundaries. That's what I'm saying, y'all. Mind like Precious. You're going to get far.